big blue. It's a letter to Lexington, message from me to you. Never thought I'd make it in a place like this. Never thought I'd make it in a place like this. Never thought I'd make it in a place like this. Never thought I'd make it in a place like this.
I'm so excited to talk to you.
Thank you.
Because I was telling you before we sat down, it's like I was doing my history and looking you up. And obviously, we've gotten to work together on the Visit Lex side. You've worked with our sales team because you've been in hotels and you've been in this hospitality industry for quite some time.
Long time.
And you've been part of the opening team for LexLive since its inception.
That's right.
So, I've seen a lot of growth with LexLive.
Sure.
And so how have you liked this whole transition from the hotelier side to family entertainment centers?
Sure. Yeah. What's funny is, regardless, as I mentioned earlier, it's the business of people. You're constantly dealing with a barrage of different personalities, but it's exciting. It keeps me fresh, keeps me bright-eyed. Always looking forward to that next opportunity to get to meet the next professional or client. And really for me, I always think of myself as an ambassador or cheerleader for our city.
Yeah.
And so have a unique kind of perspective on what I can do here, how I can impact the community, how this venue stands to serve just the community at large, whether it be from a family perspective or from that large corporate need. Of course, we just set the world's record for the largest bourbon tasting.
Yes, which I was like wanting to talk about that because honestly, I was here.
Right.
And the turnout was insane.
Yes.
I because my mom wasn't able to make it and she was really sad. I said, I think I saw every single person I knew in Lexington here in LexLive. And one, I didn't know LexLive could hold that many people. Like it's huge, but you don't even realize it. But it is your brainchild.
Sure.
Like you came up with this idea and it was executed and people are still talking about it. So how did you come up with the big ass bourbon tasting?
Gosh, you know what? As you know, obviously I take part in the Thriller Parade as well.
Yes.
One of my biggest kind of idols or role models was Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And he always thought big, always wanted to set the new record or, leave his mark on kind of history. And I thought, how can we do that from little old Lexington? Mm-hmm. Not to say Lexington isn't without its own charms or, unique quirks or abilities. But ultimately, I thought, okay, what if we partnered with Guinness World Records, to see if we could come up with some type of, feat that would be acknowledged on a world-renowned basis. Mm-hmm. The mayor and her team approached me about a year and a half ago. I had the pleasure of hosting the mayor's re-election celebration for this most recent term. And with that being said, she came to me and said, hey, what ideas would you have to put us on a global map?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, gosh, no pressure.
No pressure. I just need to make sure that we get the attention of the world.
Yeah, right. So I took it, I asked, give me a day or two. Let me take some time. Let me think on it and get back to you. So I very quickly realized it might be a little bit of a struggle to get 300 equine or horses into our 90,000 square feet at LexLive. But I realized very quickly that, we could go for a world's record to set the largest tasting of bourbon, of course, with us being bourbon country, all of those things. It just made a ton of sense. And I couldn't believe that no one from this area had ever tried that before.
Yeah.
So I thought this is a fabulous opportunity. LexLive has 90,000 square feet. We can accommodate guests up to 2,400, believe it or not. And so I knew that there was a record set for a spirits tasting that was done overseas a number of years ago, and that was set at about 1,300 tasters, I believe. And I thought, well, gosh, we need to own bourbon. That is who we are. It's so much of our kind of brand identity for the city, for LexLive being all, all of those different facets that make Lexington feel alive.
Yeah.
And so I thought, let's go for that. So pitched that idea to the mayor's team, the 250 Lex committee co-chairs, Kip Cornett, of course, and Dr. Eunice Beatty. Yeah. Wonderful individuals. Truly had a blast working with them. I'm sure at some point they probably got sick of seeing my name come across the screen on their phone, just because it truly was a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Many details. No stone, however, was left unturned. Day finally came. And I wasn't sure, I was kind of in the minutia of the details day of, making sure that we had the flights poured, making sure that all the moving parts were moving
Wait,
as they
how
needed
long
to.
did that take? Because I know 250 Lex and you all had volunteers, but
Sure.
like to come in here and see
Right.
that many bourbon pours set up, like how long did that even take to?
So believe it or not, I had started months previous to the actual event, meeting with everyone from Lexington Fire Department to a number of different city leaders, just getting them into the space, making sure they were comfortable with it. We needed to attain a number of tens of thousands of dollars worth of sponsorships. So that came with its own kind of set of unique.
Trust me, I know raising money.
Yes.
But hey, now that I know how to raise money, I'm not afraid to ask for it.
That's right. Once you've done it, it's like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that it's easy, but you're just more comfortable in that process.
Right.
So in that time, had to approach a number of city leaders, a number of bourbon distilleries and say, hey, this is our idea. Commemoration of Lexington's founding a year before our declaration was signed.
How did most people respond? Were they like, absolutely, or where there's some hesitancy?
It was to be transparent, it was a mix. There was a mix. There were some people that quickly saw the vision and immediately wanted to be on board. And, there's a lot that's going on politically with tariffs and things of the like. And so there were a number of other distilleries that had to really take some time to think on it. Yeah. Not only were we asking for a financial commitment from them, but we were also asking for, quite frankly, their liquid gold.
Right.
They were donating the bourbon in addition to that financial commitment. So it was a big ask for some. For some others, it was, a no-brainer. It just made a ton of sense. So we're able to carry that record into the future. We were able to partner with 4 big urban names, of course, Bespoken Spirits, Limestone Farms Heritage, Maker's Mark, and RD1 Spirits. But essentially your question was, how long did it take? I mean, really, we that was my brainchild. We worked on it for the better part of at least 14 months. However, the setup day of, I was here with 3 different changes of clothing, mind you, at about 6 a.m. that day.
Oh, because you knew that you were gonna be living here.
I knew, yes. I knew. We made a joke. The team was like, where's your cot going to be today? Are you going to sleep in LFX or, in the bowling alley? So, but it did. It required, lots of moving parts, lots of hands. Truly couldn't have achieved that feat without my LexLive team, without the wonderful team of volunteers that Dr. Beatty and Mr. Kip Cornett were able to generate. I mean, I truly feel like I've gained so much family through that process, working with all of those professionals for so long. We just got to know each other. We had many long days, late nights, long hours. We'd meet on site. I would be here some mornings at 3 a.m, meeting with the Lexington Fire Department, doing a number of various, types of setups, moving chairs, moving tables, making sure that the fire department was going to be on board with us having that number of tasters in our venue, so on and so forth, making sure that exits were easily accessible.
I mean, there's just so many logistics that went into it, but I think overall it was super successful.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think I was maybe one of the last people to leave. Like Honey Child had me on my feet the whole time. And, the fact that it was so many different types of people from the community that came to this. Like, I was very impressed by all of the demographics being in one room for sharing, the fellowshipping in a way over bourbon.
That's right.
And, when we were talking about LexLive in general and the demographics, I see all types of people.
Yes.
What have you all done to like kind of market and lend itself to where everybody kind of just feels welcome?
Sure. It's funny that you say that as it pertains to various degrees of demographics and backgrounds. I myself come from a mixed race family, have a very eclectic kind of family and experience with respect to upbringing and just all that was instilled in me. And so I take so much pride in the fact that I get to work as a professional in a place that brings so many demographics together. I'm the oldest of 8.
Oh, wow. I did not know you had that many siblings.
Lots of us running around. Yeah. Some of us are based in Florida. Some of us are based in Ohio. But the majority of us were born and raised here in Kentucky, of course. And so I take a lot of great pride into, various kind of degrees of backgrounds and getting the opportunity to work with those individuals. For me personally, you know, I love that this venue is truly a family entertainment center. Given that I'm from such a large kind of family unit, you know, it's so hard sometimes to make plans or to be in tune with what's going on with one another.
Yes.
You can imagine Christmases and birthdays in my family are a blast.
But I always say, coming from a big family, you'll know how to run something. Because
that's right.
Family, you got to deal with so many different personalities,
That's
so many different dynamics.
Well, listen, I think the same thing can be said for LexLive, certainly. You know, but we are a family entertainment center. One of the things that I enjoy most is seeing that family bond be rekindled in our doors. You know, we do offer 90,000 square feet. We've got the 3 main attractions. Bowling, arcade, and we also have the movie theater here on site. We operate the largest screen in the state, 80 feet across. But I think given all that we offer with respect to our attractions, with respect to the nice flair that we offer in our food and beverage, it just is a natural attraction for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone loves to eat. Everyone loves to fellowship with their family, you know, when we get the opportunity. So it truly is, it does feel like we're kind of that catch-all. When people have that time to break away or take that moment to rest or rekindle those friendships or family bonds, it's like, let's go to LexLive. It's just a natural fit. And I think for me, it doesn't take a lot of thought to be put into it. It's just one of those jewels in the crown of the city, in my mind, in my opinion.
I mean, we have a coworker, I'm going to shout her out, Bobby, and her husband. Like, I think they need some type of membership card for LexLive. They're here at least once a week seeing a movie, or I mean, because you can do so much.
That's right.
And what I love is like, what is that, by the way?
That is actually the noise that our escalators make when they are overloaded with weight. We also host the University of Kentucky football team every Friday before their Saturday home games. And of course, they do nothing small scale, right? Most of them are seem like they're 8 or 9 feet tall as they're coming up. I'm like, hi guys, how are you all?
And so it just beeps when it's just getting a little too.
When it gets
well, there's safety measures.
We have to actually stagger those gentlemen up the steps because if not, it's screaming left and right. And they understand that. They're really great sports about it, honestly. But yes, that is what that noise is.
Interesting. I just wanted to, because I keep hearing it. I'm like, what is that? But yeah, like I was saying, when it comes to like LexLive and there's so much to do, but like what I really love about you, right, is that you do more than just LexLive. My favorite thing I found out about you about a couple years ago, maybe when you first started 2022 or something like that, is that you're going into your 14th year being Michael Jackson in the literally world-renowned Lexington Thriller Parade. I mean, it's been featured in Oprah Magazine, USA Today. I consistently pitch it every single year, and we always get placements. So how did that even happen? Did you audition?
Gosh, yes. So, yes, hard to believe this year will be year 14 for me. However, as far as I understand, the parade has been around since about 2007 or 8. And of course, Michael Jackson passed away.
That wasn't 14 years ago?
I know, right? I know, right? Unfortunately, Michael Jackson passed away in 2009. And of course, once that happened, the parade just exploded. You know, everybody became reacquainted with his music and his style, and you know, the parade really took off from there. However, I got my start with the parade in I believe it was 2012. I had a good friend. I was in college at the University of Kentucky, and a friend said to me, understanding how large of a fan I was, hey, have you ever heard of the Lexington Thriller Parade? And I thought, no, I haven't. I shared that with them, and they asked me if I'd be willing to go downtown to check it out. So I said, well, I'd love to, of course. Yeah. So went down, it must have been 2011, went and saw the parade, the performance. I was blown away by the number of spectators, first and foremost, but then, of course, the performance as well. It was so true to the 1982 classic video, of course, with the werecat and the zombies. And so with that being said, I auditioned. My first year was 2012. And really since then have never looked back. I partnered with Mecca Studio, Parks and Rec, of course, WRFL. Lots of just city entities that come together to make that event be what it is.
Yeah.
And of course, there have been years where there has been 15,000 zombies, kind of following me down Main Street. But it's a joy every year. It's kind of my opportunity to turn Cameron off for a little while and be someone else.
Have you always danced?
I've always danced from the moment I can remember.
You know how to moonwalk and stuff. Like, I'm like, Cameron's got some moves.
Yes.
And you're already training for it.
You know, I think what's funny, as I mentioned, I'm the oldest of 8, right?
Yeah.
So funds were hard to come by when we were kids. So to go out and do the sporting events or to have the funds behind you to take, participate in some of those things, it just wasn't there a lot. So, music, however, was always kind of free. It was something that you could give from the heart and soul. And so when we were kids, we all danced, we sang, we, really enjoyed music, really enjoyed entertaining our friends, our family.
Did y'all do talent shows growing up?
We did talent shows.
And talent shows, you gotta get the choreography together.
That's
right. Go into the family reunion. That's like my favorite thing. Now I don't have moves like you, but I like to do a little 1-2 step for sure.
Well, let's not discount the 1-2 step. They are classic. Love it. I love a good 1-2 step myself. But yeah, started 2012, and it's truly. I think I took 1 year off in that time frame just to give myself a break, but I've been doing it every year just about since, and really love it. And for a long time, I kind of wanted to keep my professional life separate from that because I thought, well, gosh, I don't know if some of my peers will take me as serious if they know I'm going down Main Street and whatever is the case, right? So for so long, I really struggled with that. I kind of kept the two separate. And then at some point, I just realized, I think it was the point at which the mayor came to me and said, Cameron, you're such a chameleon. I don't know how you do it. On the one hand, you're professional, but then, every October you're leading, thousands of zombies down Main Street. I think at the point she said that to me is the point that I realized maybe I should embrace this a little bit more.
You should. I think that is a fair point because I've definitely been in those positions, especially when you have so many interests. We were talking before, like we don't like our day to look the same ever.
Right.
But the more I understand, like your personal affects your business and your business affects personal.
It's true.
And I think I love that, society is being more accepting of people's different interests, and it doesn't take away from all the professional things you're doing and the impact you're having. But if you're able to showcase that fun side, as well as you're giving back to the community, and you're this icon for the some people might not even know it's you. I'm sure people are still shocked.
That's right. I've had many lifelong friends, as I've shared. I've showed pictures. They've not made it to the event themselves for one reason or another. I've showed photos or videos, and they're like, there's no way that's you. I'm like, it is. I have a team, fabulous team. There's a gentleman by the name of Donnie Jones, who is locally based. He puts me in a hair and makeup chair for 4 hours, and I get out of the chair looking like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Truly,
That is a true commitment.
It is.
And what I find so interesting about just your story in general is like the commitment to not only like the things that you enjoy, but like to the community.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like you're leaving Lexington anytime soon. We hope not.
I don't have any plans.
Okay.
No plans to.
But one of the things that I've been asking people is like their perfect day in Lexington. What does that look like for Cameron?
That's so hard. Lexington is so unique. I've had the pleasure of visiting so many cities across the U.S. and even abroad. Went to Colombia, the country, this past summer. Loved Medellin, loved Guatapé. Beautiful. They had their both, metro as well as natural elements. But I think the same can be said for Lexington. Love the fact that we get to enjoy the 4 seasons. Love the changing the colors of the leaves. Love, Christmas time, the snowflakes that fall. There's so much about Lexington that's so unique. But I think for me, a perfect day in Lexington is probably a day spent visiting some of its best known attractions. Love Keeneland. Love that, all that it has to offer. You can't beat it. World class, race horses. Just the beautiful weather that you get to experience out there.
I've been at Keeneland for 6 hours, and I'm like, how?
Yeah, no kidding, right? Love Keeneland. Love seeing a show at Rep Arena right across the street, of course, a stone's throw from where we're located. I personally have had the pleasure of working with many, luminaries, artists that I never dreamed I'd get the pleasure of working with. We got to host Little Bow Wow over here. We've done events for Little Bow Wow. We've gotten to host, different events for Kenny Chesney, Drake, of course. So it's been a pleasure. But love the downtown area. I'm a big outdoorsy person. Love spending the day on the Legacy Trail.
Yeah.
Biking, walking.
Look at you. Do you work for Visit Lex? Because you are just hitting all the points.
I don't work for Visit Lex. I would love to work for Visit Lex, if I may be transparent. But, LexLive is amazing. LexLive has come with so many unique opportunities. And I truly feel that I'm, kind of an ancillary kind of satellite to what the mission at Visit Lex is. And it takes a community, right?
Yeah.
It's all about community. Just love what I get to do. Love the opportunity to work with Lexington and its people. And
yeah, we love that we get to work with you all as partners. Our partners are what makes the city great for visitors and residents and, people alike. And we are just very, very thankful to have people like you that are great ambassadors for the region, and not only the region, but the state, and continue to pour back in to what we're trying to build. Thank you for sitting down with me, Cameron. I really enjoyed talking to you. And, I can't wait to see you around at LexLive, maybe out in the streets of Lexington, or just being Michael Jackson.
There you go.
We hear your best.
I'm embarrassed.
This is a letter from me to you. I said go big blue. I said go big blue. I said go big blue. This a letter to Lexington, message from me to you. Never thought I'd make